Hello everybody, welcome to the Splatoon LAN Championship. My name is OBT and I'm joined here by Weef. Weef, what's up?
Oh, I'm so excited. I have like a pretty bad throat, like pretty bad sore throat. Like right now I'm checking tea, I'm on Dayquil, I'm doing everything. I just ate soup, but I would not miss this for anything. This is what, like, 5+, I can't even remember when we first started talking about this, but this is what months and months of work has led up to. Me personally, like, you can see on the graphic just all these states involved. Me personally, head TO of Gatorland, I've been, seeing, this project for a little bit longer than everyone else because I've just been involved since the kind of earliest planning, but it's just so exciting. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. It's really exciting to be here. I was at Sunset Surge. I live in Arizona. I was able to help them a little bit on the TO side, not very much, but I'm still excited to be here, y'all. It's been, again, like we said, 6 months in the planning. Just really, really cool that we get to do this. A very unique opportunity for North America, obviously. So yeah, just really excited to get into it. I think we got some pretty cool brackets. By the way, if you don't know, we are stream 1 of 5 today, all right? So we're going to be covering a couple games over here. We have the analysis desk over on the main channel for SplatoonTourney. And then pretty much every single game of the bracket is being streamed. So if you don't see your favorite team here, I guarantee you they are playing somewhere else, right?
Yeah, every single match. That's incredible. I mean, we didn't, I believe Falco actually had to create Splatoon 4 specifically for this because you have 4 matches going on plus the analysis. Oh, it's so exciting. I believe you mentioned a minute ago that because you are from Arizona and I'm from Florida, we are both from very warm states, and we're both kind of representing Team 1 and Team 2 of this event. So in terms of seeding, so we'll see. But yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm just saying, what can you say? Our states are hot and our Splatoon is hotter. That's right, everybody. But that's not the match we're casting first. Our first match is going to be No Boys Allowed from Booyah Bay versus Z-Tier players from New England. Now, this is truly a West Coast versus East Coast matchup. And, I'm just saying, West Coast, best coast, even though I live in Arizona. I still think I really am trying to back my boys, No Boys Allowed here. So, but yeah, man, I love Rice over at Booyah Bay, and they did do pretty well. A fun fact about No Boys Allowed, they are the only 5-person team, and they're one of 2 teams out of the 8 that dropped any games to people at their local LAN. Because I know pretty much everyone else, it was like a straight through. Like, nobody took any games.
Yeah, but that's absolutely not an indication of their skill. It's more so the indication of the quality of players at the LAN itself. Because we have some absolute powerhouses of players. You got Helix, Muty, Cleffa, Rydia, and Nico, all players which, I mean, if you're following the Splatoon scene, you may have heard of. But so they're absolutely somebody to look out for. On the other hand, we do have Z2 players, like you mentioned, all the way from New England, up in New England, with also some very recognizable players, most notably Storm T-Tech, 49er, Ren, and Neptune are also pretty notable here. Yeah, something interesting about Z-Tier players is Storm won with the team Glub and Big Dapple, but he actually deferred his nomination to play with these guys. So you're putting all your eggs in one basket here. We'll see if he ends up regretting that later on. But I mean, the fact that he puts his confidence in these players is something to vouch for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that was a very interesting fact when I was reading that, just because, like, man, you're right. I hope they do put their eggs in the right basket. Our first match is unfortunately going to be Hammerhead Zones. Now, when I saw that in the map pool, I was like, oh my God, why is that map in the map pool? I don't know who picked it, but it's at least it's a Zones map is something, but just, oh, good golly, Miss Molly. Glad we're getting out of the way early.
The way that the maps were picked for this event, in terms of so all of the maps, all of the LANs had the same map pool. We all ran a LAN Championship Showdown map pool. And so it was actually, we all got in one call, all the TOs, and we voted. So you can blame the collective TOs, including me. I don't think I voted for this one. So don't blame me, but blame the vague notion of the other TOs and also Falco for this one.
I will have words for Pepe, because, like, bro, man, like, come on. Everything else in the map pool is, like, pretty, like, whatever. Right. But this one is definitely, I feel like, an anomaly. But, hey, it's okay.
Because it's the representation of Booyah Bay with the bridge. That's why. I remember now. So this is their home map. It's their representation. I mean,
that is correct. I remember Rice did show the bridge in a lot of their, promotional footage, so... That's okay, but yeah, home side advantage there for Booyah Bay. Really excited to get into it. Hopefully we start soon. I know it's like after the hour, so just kind of waiting on the players to get ready there.
While we're still waiting, I can show off my awesome t-shirt. Well, I'm repping Gatorland, my number ones, my favorite boys. so awesome to see the scene grow recently. But Saf made us these awesome shirts, and she really did an amazing job. We've got my name on it, and then I also have to like strip Hawaiian shirt down a little bit further. But the logo and all of the dates for all of the events on it. This is really cool. It was super fun to rep at all the events.
Yeah, and I'm wearing my Arizona State baseball jersey. I don't like baseball, but I love Arizona State. Go Devils, all right? That's on my little sleeve here. Go Devils, love them. This is sweet Arizona State, but whatever. So, but yeah, I don't have a cool TO shirt, but that's okay. I'm still out here, man, just like everybody else.
I mean, I know for a fact I'm gonna be wearing this to, like, I'm going to MomoCon next month, so like I'm wearing this until the day I die at every Splatoon event I go to. But I mean, just the fact, you know, it is such a great shirt. But also just like the fact that we're bringing out our state pride. Not all of the players on all of these teams are from the regions that they're representing, but it still, you know, kind of highlights the local scene and that we're so, oh, we have a match going. Let's go.
That's right. We're going to see NBA. That's not National Basketball Association. That is No Boys Allowed. Coming on this one side. Love to see the team tags get into our first match here on Hammerhead Zones.
For sure. Looking at the team comps ability size, we see both pencils, but we see some other really cool choices. A Storm over there on the S-Blast. So you got Cleffa on the dualies, and immediately most of these players are rushing out in the mid, but I did see somebody hanging back painting for a special. Already we do see, I believe that is No Boys Allowed over there going a player down, but looks like Z-tier players is out in mid right now, immediately kind of taking the zone, getting that good hold.
Yeah, and immediately you're going to see 49er get a double on the Zipcaster. Can they find a triple? And they do get the wipeout in the first 30 seconds of the match. And now you're seeing Z-tier players move up really, really far, moving up really, really fast. Ren is going to be sitting on their snipe. Going to be hard to deal with. And now we'll see how No Boys Allowed retaliates trying to get back into mid here.
Yeah, with the backlines on the top, once they get it set up, it is a nightmare to get them out. It seems like they have kind of succeeded. They do value their own life over that hold here, especially with such a really good lead within the first minute. And they're still taking down. They still manage to get that hold even after No Boys Allowed is pushing into them. So we're going to see how this progresses. It looks like this player almost has their Booyah Bomb ready. Seeing specials coming out just to further this hold. We have 20 seconds left on the clock. We are super close to a potential knockout here.
Yeah, man, I mean, just showcasing why this map is so hard to come back in on. It's like, if you don't get a cap, man, just to kind of buy yourself some time, like they just did over there, great job to them. It's just really hard because you're physically so far away from the spawn, you know, on some of these longer Splatoon 3 maps. And so now you're going to see kind of more of a scrappy trade in mid. You see Cleffa pop the crab here, trying to find a pick. Doesn't seem to find him. Just kidding, they find Neptune there, hopefully clearing a path for the other teammates to move up into their choke.
Yeah, and they continue kind of to play off the momentum of that, still trying to move forward carefully, but still aggressively. They don't want to lose their momentum here. Zipcats are coming out to try and get it, but they do get taken out, but not before they get a little bit of a trade there. But they're still managing to hold. We're taking going on the halfway point now. We're going to see if they're going to be able to continue to hold as we see some specials coming out from 0-2 players.
Yeah, it's so hard with that Zipcaster, man, because you know, you want to get the picks in on that, but you saw 49er kind of overextended there like they did just there also. And you get punished for it. Now suddenly you don't have a way to kind of displace everybody for your teammates to try to pick them up. And now, you know, kind of showing the other side of this map, it's been hard for Z-tier players to kind of come back in and find the zone once they're pushed out of it. Because I keep seeing a bunch of players go down and trade. They do get the zone cap there, but a push down all the way up to 30, not bad to get on the board there.
They do have those penalty points, but zones tick down so fast. You blink and you're already down to 20 points. So I bet they're not actually too worried about all that, especially when Clef is going in super aggressive, does not manage to get the pick, and that does kind of put them on the back foot. 2 players down in mid, and the zone is contested.
Yeah, and again, man, I don't know what 49er is running to get their like 4th or 5th zip of the game, but another zip coming out. I think they might have found somebody there. Yeah, man, it just feels like no one's been able to super get a dominant hold past the Z-tier players at the very beginning of this. You've seen Cleffa drop in, gonna find it with their buddy. They're gonna jump back up to get the cooler, probably gonna wait to pop crab here. And again, man, it's just been so much back and forth in this map already.
For sure, for sure. Once again, we do have that crafting card, which is going to be a really game-changing special in the right hands. They are going to go ahead and pop it out. They don't really have too much player support behind them to kind of sustain that hold, but it can hold by itself, although we do see some crab-on-crab action out here. Neptune's crab does get shredded. They do get pushed back, and Z2 players is now 2 down, 3 down. It looks like Booyah Bay is going to have a pretty good hold here, and they have about 50 ticks left until this game ends. You do see some specials on the side of Z2 players. That's hopefully going to get them back in, but, I mean, this could be, once again, a really solid hold for these guys.
For anyone that's maybe not a super high level player, one thing that is really important to notice is that they're constantly painting for special. You see, Muty got out there and immediately was painting for Cooler, was able to pop it, so now they have Cooler for this fight. It's just so imperative how fast they're using their specials after getting them. I know a lot of times we try to coordinate them, but man, I'm just watching people just yeet their specials. And speaking of yeeting it, we got down to 8 ticks. I think that's going to be a knockout for No Boys Allowed as the last player from Z-Tier Players goes down there in mid.
I'm wondering if that was a really good first game. We saw a ton of back and forth. Not as back and forth as most games that you might see, but it was solid hold after solid hold after solid hold. It really showing how competitive these matches can be, and it's only going to get better from here as we go further up the bracket here. So I'm super excited for that, and I'm super excited to see how these games go themselves. But I'm interested to see if anyone was counting how many Zipcasters 49er got, because you were talking about how much these guys pay for special, but it seemed like every time we saw a 49er on camera, they were just going for another Zipcaster, or in another Zipcaster.
I know, it's crazy. I don't know if they just got a lot of special charge or like special, whatever that thing is that when you get splatted, you retain your special one. But like, just crazy amounts of Zipcasters coming out of there. And just a great map to use. I feel like it really extends your reach, obviously, from wherever you're starting to wherever the other enemy's team there. But just not quite enough to find the picks on there. And we're really lucky. I think this is Seed 4 versus Seed 5 on stream right now. So theoretically, these should be the closest match of the first round. I don't know what everyone else is streaming, but I still feel like we're pretty dang lucky. Thank you for the graphic. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Here, let's see. So My Little Henlo, seed number 1, is versus Octopodes, which are seed number 8. So that one might be a little bit unbalanced. Siku got kicked out, is fighting Prickly Pear, and Prickly Pear is, I believe, seed 3. No, they're seed 2, like we were talking about earlier. And then ours, which is 4 versus 5. And then we have Glove versus Sea Battle, which is 6 versus 3. So that's not too bad either. But I'm like saying, these players are all really good. They all managed to get to the very top of their lands, and some of these lands had some really, really stiff competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bouillabaisse actually was no exception. I think the team that got second was actually Healthy Diet Food Groups with like Pepe and Shiny mixed in there. So another really awesome team. So No Boys Allowed really worked for it. And maybe that's being shown here versus Z-Tier Players. I don't exactly know who was second in New England, but I'm sure there's got to be some kind of really stacked talent pool being that close to, like, the Northeast and New York and all those other places.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, the Northeast is just a stacked region. I mean, you can see by the amount of lands that are up there. There's even some more lands that I think I've been hearing about potentially forming up there. It's really, really stacked. I can actually look to, well, I don't know. I could actually look to see what they were. Hold on. We are seeing New England. Let's see. Who were their second? I'm looking at their Start GG page right now. Teams, there are 8 teams from that one. So one of the smaller lands. Let's see.
It doesn't really matter the size. I always feel like it's the quality of player. And New England, I think, is just kind of small just because there's not a ton. Like, yeah, there's 100%. A lot of people that live in the Northeast, but it's also a little smaller area than like Florida and Texas and the tri-state area with
for sure.
New Jersey and New York and places. So that makes sense to me. And I also think it was one of the later ones, right?
I believe, yeah. And so that second team was Skipadillions, Hermit, Yumta, and Rush, which is absolutely a good team on its own. I know for Gatorland, the actual Grand Finals match, it was pretty much a sweep, but up to the Grand Finals, it was neck and neck, because we had a lot of really good mid-level players that were fighting. But Florida is absolutely huge. If you for example, Gatorland is in Gainesville, which is kind of in the northeastern part of Florida, kind of, if you go inwards from the Panhandle, that's kind of where it is. So if somebody's coming from Miami, which I don't believe we had too many players coming from Miami, that would be like a 5-6 hour drive for them. We had people coming from Atlanta, we had one player coming from Massachusetts, and somebody actually flew out from California to come hang out with us, which was amazing.
And Bouillabaisse being in the Bay Area, they have so much access to so many people that live there, and in the surrounding states. You're not too far away from Seattle. You're not too far away from Phoenix, Las Vegas. So they kind of got the, I'm going to say, regional buff of living next to just a bajillion other people also.
Oh, yeah, for sure. California itself has, I think, 3 or 4 different lands. And then, yeah, the proximity to the other Southwest lands. But I was thinking a little bit... Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, the California lands are crazy because you have Bouillabaisse in NorCal, and then you have SoCal, and then you also have Cal Turner, which kind of sprouted up while SoCal was looking for another venue. So it is crazy that there's 3 lands there, but hey, I mean, the more the merrier. I'm thinking about maybe going out to SoCal at the end of the month, and then there's actually another Bouillabaisse, I think in June. So a lot of cool stuff on the West Coast. I'm very happy about it.
I wish I lived a little bit closer to some of the other lands, because I would 100% go, but unfortunately, I can't afford plane tickets, and everything is too far of a drive. So I was so excited when MomoCon got announced, because I was like, yes, something I can go to! I am, if there's something that pops up in, like, North Virginia, which I've heard whispers about, I might drive to that, but otherwise, it's pretty barren.
You are correct. I have heard whispers about that. I think it's a great thing. MDVA is a pretty strong region for Smash, at least. That's kind of also my background, but it was weird because they called it MVD, which I'm so not used to hearing it called by. But yeah, man, there's a couple more East Coast lands on the come up, and I also think, man, just like they got the East Coast buff of just more people live on the east side of the Mississippi.
It's true.
So I feel you, man. Like, it's so hard to have it's really remarkable how many Western lands we have. Look close on that one. Close. We're a little out of the frame on Sea Battle and Booyah Bay. But you know, they're over to the right there.
This land is actually taking place on a boat in the Pacific.
Oh, I love graphics. I love production. And I promise you, y'all don't go anywhere. We're just trying to get the players settled in for the next match there. We should be starting hopefully pretty soon here. But yeah, man, you know, I just feel like the West Coast is, when I was a Smash player, like, it's just so much harder to have large events because there's just, everyone's spread out from really far away. You know, the population centers are so much farther. You know, you don't have as many large cities within driving distance, like, you know, from you to Atlanta or Atlanta to, like, you know, MVT and all those other places. So it's just been hard to have that. And actually, it's been really nice to see how many Western lands there are, because, you know, we don't have LTC anymore, which is really unfortunate. And I'm just kind of iffy on like some of the other major tournaments like Genesis. It was nice we were at Battle of BC, which was super cool. But yeah, man, so I think at least for us, having our own local land is really awesome. And really, especially in Arizona, man, that's all Pepe. Like, Pepe, like, pretty much just wanted to make a land and just got this entire community together. And it's just grown so big. We actually had to have a new venue, partially because the other one closed down, but also because we were just so many people at this last one. And this was definitely the largest one. If I had to guess, there might be even more people at the next one. Although, I don't know about you, but I don't know when you do Gatorland, but the next Sunset Surge is definitely going to be in the summer, which is the worst time to be in Phoenix, but that's okay. That's okay.
Well, Gatorland always runs in the spring and the fall because we're kind of a unique case because we run with the UF Gator Gaming Club. Shout out to them. I think a bunch of them are watch partying SplatoonTourney 3 with My Little Henlo's team right now. But because we actually have the chance to run ours for free, and we also, because of that, I don't have any monetary support, so everything is like bring your own. And so this is a really big sense of community. We also have like the largest CCA player base out of any of them. I believe exactly half of our player base. So we had 17 teams in the last one. 8 of those teams were CCA teams because Florida collegiate scene is insane. You have Florida State's few teams, USF has a few teams, USF has UCF has a few teams. Like, there's so many Florida collegiate teams, and that's really cool. But since you know about Smash, it's also a tournament for so many other games too, which I know when PopCon was doing kind of the first talk about on the Popcast about the LAN Championship Showdown, he was like, it's kind of weird that Gatorland's being included because we are we're like kind of like a mini major almost in terms of the entire thing, where there's Smash, really large Smash tournaments, Melee, Ultimate. There's like Mario Kart, there's even like last time there was like a Beyblade tournament, like a Risk of Rain tournament, like random stuff, because anyone who wants to sign up to a TO game can for free, and because it's part of the student union, in the student union building, we get that venue for free, so it's something that's pretty cool about it.
That's like crazy to me because like that is totally not what Sunset Surge is. Like, Sunset Surge is the exact opposite. We were at a place out in the middle of nowhere called Campfire Esports, very small esports lounge that's run by this mom and dad. Basically, and it was like the dead opposite. We were not attached to anything. Unfortunately, Arizona doesn't really have like a large major tournament. You know, we used to have like Rewind and Ascension, and a while ago we even had like Sandstorm, but like there's not really a major FGC or even Smash event that we can attach ourselves to. But what's cool about that is it's literally just all about us. We're not having to fight for venue space. You know, like I was so fortunate to go to the Big House that one year they did that. Now Big House was like former like just dream tournament for being in the Smash scene. So I was so glad I was able to do that. But it's just very different. You know, you're in the very back, away from everything, not on the main stage, that kind of stuff. So it's just nice that we have our own thing. And dude, the ASU we're in this new building at ASU, their esports center, basically. It's like this huge room. It's got like, I don't know, 40, 50 monitors and computers. Tons of space to spread out. We're really close to a bunch of restaurants. And overall, much better location. I know Shiny helped secure that venue for us because they go to ASU and they're involved with the esports club. But that's super cool about your event, man. That's awesome. That is like a college thing, and there's other events going on. But I still think that qualifies as a Splatoon land. And hey, if we didn't have that, I mean, we wouldn't have our first seed. So shout out to them and at least involving you. I know I didn't know about Gatorland before really the championship, so that's super awesome to see, man.
Yeah, no, we've grown a ton. My first event, well, first off, the fact that I finally have built up some equipment and I know a little bit more about actually running a LAN now. My first one, I believe, was 10 teams, and now we're up to 17, which is just insane. And we went from a tiny little conference room to having one of the grand ballrooms basically by ourselves. We were sharing with Marvel rivals, but basically by ourselves, which is super, super neat. But I mean, the moral of the story, I was actually did it completely on a whim. The person who ran it, used to ran it, wasn't able to run it anymore, and so I got a DM from the president of the gaming club being like, "Hey, do you want a TO for this?" And I was like, "Shit, if I don't do it, who will?" So it's kind of the moral of the story is if you want to land in your area, it is something that you can do. It's difficult, but and it's challenging, but it's super, super rewarding. It's one of the most rewarding things I've ever done, and it's not impossible. There's a huge network of us who would love to help out, figuring logistics, figuring out how to get a venue, how to attract people, how to set up LAN, and all the setups and all the logistics with that. So if that's something you're interested in, for sure, like you can 100% do it.
Yeah, man, like I almost didn't even believe like we could have a LAN in Phoenix. Now, granted, there's a lot of people that live in Phoenix. It's the most populous city in the state, but like Pepe literally just did it by himself. Like he secured all the stuff, and it was funny. I remember we were talking about there's another LAN that's potentially happening in the center of the country. I'm just gonna say a state next to Texas, very close to Texas. But I remember talking about it with Dio and Rice, and Dio was like, "Dude, yeah, I'll just drive up like all the audio mixers. Like I don't care. Like I'll be there." And it's totally possible, man. Like if there is a will, there is a way. Especially with how many people play the game. Obviously, you know, it might be a little harder in like a, you know, say there's not a lot of people, but still, man, there's that region around you. Also, very small update for the stream. The reason why this is taking so long is Storm's fire alarm went off, and they are just trying to get that settled right now. They're asking maybe potentially if they can sub. So I promise, you know, there's not just like a random earthquake that happened, but we hopefully should be back here. They're trying to resolve it as fast as possible, y'all. All right.
Yeah, it's comically bad timing, but I believe we are shortly getting back to it.
Hopefully, but either way, I don't care. I'm just vibing, bro, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like I mean, for me, it's 4 p.m. because we're in PST. Fun fact: Arizona actually moves time zones throughout the year. We go from MST to PST. On one of the only states that does that. I think like Saskatchewan is another place that also doesn't move time. We don't observe daylight savings, so we just move time zones.
Good for you.
I know it sucks, dude. I hate moving time zones because, like, you know, my team used to practice at 9 p.m. Eastern, which was fine. You know, that's 7 p.m. But now that it's in PST, that's 6 p.m. So I have to get all my stuff done, like cooking dinner, exercising, whatever, done before 6 p.m. And I hate it. I just wish we were in Mountain Standard Time. So, I mean, I don't have to look through the terrors of daylight savings, but whatever.
It's just kind of two like hands on the same coin. If nobody observed daylight saving time, that would be great. That would be awesome. That'd be the ideal. But I mean, it's still. I like so I work. I commute to Orlando every day, and that's an 1.5-hour drive for me. And I work 8-hour shifts. And so on the days that I would start work at 9 p.m. I'd leave the house at 7 a.m. Sorry, a.m. Get the house at 9 a.m. So I'm leaving when it's still dark, and I get home at 7 p.m. and it's dark. So I'm in the dark the entire day, at least when I'm home. So I do like actually being able to see the sun outside of work, but I can understand the issues there.
I mean, it was fine when I didn't do Splatoon. You know, like when I was a Smash player, it was like whatever. But now that I play Smash, it's very annoying, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I wish we would just stay in one time zone. Also, dude, 1.5-hour commute is terrible. I can barely handle my like 20-minute commute to my school, bro. I just can't.
It's pretty bad. I live with my parents, so I don't have to pay rent.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's worth it. Gas is also expensive, but it's not as expensive as it is on the West Coast. But yeah.
But hey, you're a zookeeper. Like, what do you do at the zoo?
I take care of birds. It's my entire job.
Like big birds, like small birds, like
small birds, tropical birds. So we have 3 tropical aviaries. So like, I mean, macaws are pretty big. I take care of the macaws, but yeah. A lot of cleaning, a lot of poop, a lot of talking to people. So I've actually, like, I have been, since I'm still doing college and I'm working, so I'm working basically full-time because of the commute, and then also doing college, I've had less time to participate in Splatoon, like playing and commentating, but I still do a lot of public speaking. I do, like, keeper talks, and so it's kind of hard to go from, like, this premeditated, like, okay, and here's the talking points I want to go about, to actually having to, like, live commentate something. It's a little bit of a difference. It's a little bit of an adjustment that I have to make, but it's super fun. It keeps my mind sharp.
That's crazy. I love birds. I think birds are very interesting. I could not do the poop, though. That's not, I teach a band at high school, but, like, I could not do the poop, bro. That's way too much. I always see the zookeepers. I'm like, it smells terrible here. I love visiting the zoo and then leaving. I could not be there like full time like that. And I feel you, man. Like it's hard when you're working. You know, I have a partner and stuff like that. Like it's challenging to find time for Splatoon. I still try to do it just because I love this game and I love having a hobby like this. So I feel very fortunate for that. But yeah, man, like for me, commentating is different because like I grew up like my Smash background commentating like just locally, which was really easy, just because like there's not really a lot of people watching locally. But also I've done like solo commentary, like and it's also very different because like with Smash, being a local commentator, you try to highlight more like your knowledge of the player base basically and things that the people watching may not know. But with Splatoon, it's a lot more play-by-play and trying to analyze things as they're happening. It's really hard to keep track of people. So that's been kind of an adjustment for me getting into Splatoon commentary. It's just like I have to rely on much more about my game knowledge.
Yeah. 8+ players on a team versus 2 players that you would have to remember to, you know, that would 100% be difficult to keep track of people.
Well, and it's also different because, like, man, you can just banter. Like, there's so much banter that happens at large tournaments, especially for like pools, and like having to give like real relevant commentary to like everybody is really, it's a big change,
I believe we are 100% back on getting ready for this match, which is super exciting. But if you guys were not, if you guys are not tuned in before, No Boys Allowed representing Bouillabaisse did take a game over Z-tier players, but it was a very close match. We did see a lot of back and forth, just a slight stronger side from No Boys Allowed, but it was on Hammerhead Bridge zones, so take that as you will, take it with a grain of salt. Me personally, if I was doing some statistics, I would discard that as a statistical error for being on a bad map, but that's just me.
Yeah, and I just got confirmation from up high. We have 90 seconds until we get to the second game finally of this set. Thank you for being patient. It's hard when there's like, you know, life that happens with the fire alarm going off. But hey, we are back into it. Also, shout outs to the graphics. I mean, I think like JPEG and whoever else did the graphics, but like really good stuff just to see this level of production. I'm excited for this level of production for us Splatoon event, and we're gonna get right into it on our game 2 finally. Rainmaker Humpback.
Let's go. On this, we are seeing Helix returning on that mini splatting. I believe that was there before. But we do see Ren switch from the pencil to the heavy edit, which I can say is probably a pretty good choice here. Because you do see Hammerhead, that was a very charger heavy map. But here, it's a little bit more short range favored. So excited to see how this changes things up.
Yeah, man, the orange team was just like, we are not getting popped, bro. Let's pay for specials. So you saw a couple people swing right onto their bunker. Here you're seeing Cooler coming out. Unfortunately, Hammer not going to find their mark. 49er is going to get that pick onto the mini there, and you see they're trying to get a pick onto the backliner. There's not really anyone home to defend this checkpoint, so this should be a pretty free first checkpoint for Z-tier players.
Oh yeah, 100% that free dunk for Ren, and they're still got tons of momentum. I mean, you see that little straightaway there, it's 100% clear. They're gonna go for it. They're gonna get all the way down to 40 points. That's within the first 40 seconds, by the way. Super fast. We do see No Boys Allowed getting that pop. They seem to be kind of flushed out back in the mid, but that was an insane push.
Yeah, really good way to start this game number 2, especially after, you know, all the stuff with Storm. Just always feels nice to come back and take the lead. I don't know if they're going to be able to extend this, and I really feel like it's not worth risking a wipeout at this high of a level, man. You know, you really see teams try to avoid that pretty much at all costs. So they are going to still stay here. You see Cleffa get called out in mid there, going to go down there, and so is Nico. And now we have another free push here for Z-tier players.
So this was the 100% the opposite of what we saw before. They're already down to 20 points, 15 points, and they still have a lot of momentum. We see 49er getting that Zipcaster. That Zipcaster they had popped like 15 times last game. Gets a ton of value there as they just continue up the pressure. They are starting to back out a little bit more, but I mean, you look at the paint on the map. All of mid is blue. All of at least half of their little hallway right there is blue. They're just keeping up the pressure.
Yeah, and I feel like right now, man, No Boys Allowed really having a hard time coming out of their spawn here. As you see, 49 are going to get picked off there trying to find another one. We do have 3 specials online for No Boys Allowed, seeing if they can find something. Helix is going to just kind of yeet this hammer, hopefully try to find someone. Does not find his mark again. I just realized that they're actually double hammer. Very bold choice.
Oh, that's awesome.
If not for like the patch that came out like a few weeks ago. The patch does not save you from bombs, so unfortunately, as one of them's going to die to a suction bomb, as Azuka's coming out of mid from the other team.
But I mean, look at this. I mean, mid still is looking pretty blue here. They just haven't. It's like we're 2.5 minutes in. We're already halfway through the game, and No Boys Allowed has just not been allowed to get back on their feet. Hammer gonna pop out here. We're gonna see if it's getting any value, and it does get a little bit of value. We do see Z-tier players here that was a little bit down here. I mean, like the pressure. They're just amazing keeping up this pressure.
Yeah, you know, I know that they are in mid, but they have not touched the Rainmaker, and this has been all blue abadi abadai for the blue team here, as 49ers going to get a double with that Zipcaster. Now they're just kind of chasing the last one here. It is just Cleffa alive, trying to set up this defense, as again, another push coming out from Z-tier players.
I feel like last game we really didn't see 49er get too much value out of those Zipcasters, but this game they're saying, no, let me show you what I can do, and they have been giving us a fantastic show, just showing why Zipcaster is such a fun special to watch. Once again, they're kind of holding it here, waiting for until they have an opportunity, which is a pretty smart play when you have such a secure lead, but they are slowly creeping their way forward. A crab does get popped, which is going to halt their progress pretty badly, but I mean, once again, pressure, they just are not letting up, and that's 100% the right move here.
You know, I feel like the Booyah Bay team was kind of planning for being on offense a lot with their double hammer comp, because I feel like I can kind of see they're trying to push people. You have the hammer you can throw up to, like, the top area of their defensive area. But I feel like on defense, though, when you're trying to come back to the map, the hammer is not necessary. Now, Nico does get two, making me eat my words there, but in general, I feel like having two things that are like pretty much almost single use or very, what's the word? Situational may not be as good as you see with the another one. You know, you have the Master 49er, Cooler, Crab, Zuka, much more standard kind of specials coming out from New England's team. So I just feel like I am questioning maybe their decision to run double hammer here.
Yeah, I saw Muty there in mid for a second. I was gonna say it looks like they have a pretty solid hold here, but it's still contested. I mean, that flipped back in the hit of an eye. We do see less than a minute left. We do see tons of specials on the side of No Boys Allowed, but I mean, are they gonna? Oh, it looks like they do get value off it. That's 3 down.
Yeah, finally, I mean, with 42 seconds remaining, we are going to put points on the board for the first time for No Boys Allowed. Now, this could actually be a decent push here if they're able to live the Zipcaster. 49er probably not going to find this mark. They're going to go down, and really all there's left to defend is they have to wait out the Zuka, but they have the time. Even though we have 30 seconds, they're wisely going to wait that out. Does not find this mark right there. They just need to grab it and try to move it forward, trying to debate right now when do they want their last push to happen, and they said it's probably going to be right now. So you see Halix going to pop that hammer, and that's what I was talking about. I feel like when you're coming back into this area, it's really, really easy to try to find a pick. But unfortunately, one of the players from Z-tier players got behind him, and that's pretty much going to be the game, honestly.
We've seen that in both games we've seen so far. It's been like the other team has gotten a really good push right towards the end, and then their hopes just get smashed right at the end, even before the timer ticks down. But yeah, game 2 going to New England. Once again, showing that this is a fantastic matchup. Fourth seed versus 5th seed. Super even playing field here. It just depends on the map mode, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely, man. They say, I don't care about the fire alarm, bro. Game number 2 will be all about Z-tier players. So great stuff for them. I know sometimes that can just kind of hurt your mental when you're stalled for that long, don't know when your player's coming back. But honestly, the New England team really held it down there, and I felt like that game was all about them, man. It was, I mean, it literally took them what, 4 minutes and 15 seconds for the other team to grab the Rainmaker, put points on the board. So just a dominant game from them.
Yeah, for sure. They came back better than ever. Like, that was, once again, the individuals, it just played so fantastically together in ways that we didn't quite see the game before. Maybe because of the map mode, maybe because of the fire alarm buff. Probably a real thing, definitely. But like I loved watching the difference in 49er that game. Like I mentioned during the actual game, like we saw so much value out of the constant Zipcasters that they were pulling out. It was so fun.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, in a game mode like Rainmaker, you do get a lot more value from just getting those high-value picks that you can find with Zipcaster. I mean, it's so hard. I feel like Zipcaster is one of the hardest specials to learn because it's all about when are you going for people, what are you Zipcasting onto geometry. I feel like 49 are just a really, really class act there and was able to secure it down. But we're going to get into our next match, which is Clan Blitz on Umami Ruins.
Super excited for this one. We're gonna see Ren stick on to that headed. I mean, it seemed to be going really well for them last time, so why gosh, I can't remember the saying. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's the one. Brain ain't working right now. But already in the mid, we do see some fights over here on that right side. We're gonna see who gets the first pick and who gets that first big mid push.
Hilariously, you see both of their backliners painting spawn. I thought that Ren was a lot more methodical there, just looking at the mini-map. So their coolers are going to come out just a couple seconds faster than Z-tier players, but so funny. They will say, I will have cooler for the first fight, and the first fight is going to work out for the side of Z-tier players. You see Ren here kind of getting on top mid, just trying to push up. I did see 3 people go down, but you couldn't have guessed it right now with both hammers coming up, and now the mid being in the side firmly of No Boys Allowed. feel like I don't know what happened in the comms or what was happening up ahead, but I feel that should have been. We should be having the match open right now.
Yeah, no, they just kind of folded. I mean, they went back. I mean, they're regaining mid now. Nothing actually ended up happening, but you would have guessed that they were gearing up for a push by then, and then they just you know ended up going back and having to retreat. We do see one player down on their side, but they're still continuing to advance forward. But just as I say that, of course, commentators curse. We do see them kind of be pushed back with only they're headed back on the field. Now it's just much more contested in mid, but this is looking to be much more of a stalling match than either of the games we've seen so far.
Rolling my eyes there at that interaction with 49er, man. Cannot tell you, because I play decaf, how many times that happens, bro. You miss your first couple shots onto the brush, and they're able to kill you with their just seemingly crazy long range. But it doesn't matter, as No Boys Allowed is going to open up with a ton of baskets. Already going to push it sub 50, getting close to sub 40 there. Really unfortunate clam spawn, not going to matter. Great use of specials there from Z-tier players to push out No Boys Allowed and trying to retake mid here.
Yeah, but I mean, what a fantastic first push. I mean, that's what you see a lot of the time with higher level players. You see more explosive pushes than at lower levels where you see just kind of one super clam. And then another super clam like 2 minutes later, like you see really good sustained pushes because they just know what they're doing. But we are going to see that they're just going to kind of continuing up the pressure, keeping up, you know, Z2 players kind of back in their spawn who just don't seem like they're kind of able to get a push going quite yet.
Yeah, man, I feel like it's just so hard when you have a special like Hammerman when you're trying to push in and then you die terribly. And we're going to see a crab fight here on the left side of the map. I do think that is going to be, yeah, that's the side of Z-tier player is going to find not one but two picks there with the Zipcaster. And now this hopefully should be the start of their push. You do see Neptune go down in trying to push their choke right there. And I guess we're still going to be in this really stally area of mid with no end in sight there.
Yeah, just once again, not quite able to make it. It seemed like they were in a really good position, but No Boys Allowed was just able to collapse on them just like that and push them back. I mean, once again, they did lose that chance to push. They do still kind of regain mid just a little bit, but it's still not looking great for them. We are just under the halfway mark in this game, and they haven't been able to get anything going seriously. They're just always like 2 inches short of it.
Yeah, this is very frustrating, I feel like, as a player, when you feel like you're getting the picks, you know, your team's working well, your specials are happening, but they're just not able to get past choke. And I almost wonder if they just need to, you know, send it, bro. Like, they just need to move up there with some confidence and just try to get past choke. But, man, I don't know what's happening mid, but they have about 9 quintillion clams on the side of No Boys Allowed. Really firm lead, and they have most of mid. So all they really need to do is kind of try to win this fight here. And even if they don't, they still have most of the clams, which means they're going to have to wait for respawns for the side of Z-tier players for them really to try to push up there. Backline to go down by the crab. And again, you see their specials are coming out, but they're opting to back into their side of the map. And I think this might be another open for No Boys Allowed.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you're seeing here is it's just a less fast-paced game mode that we're seeing. Like, just clamlets can take a while to get a push set up. It's not like Rainmaker where you can kind of get a push going at the drop of the hat. I mean, they're just... It's hard. It's hard for them. Once again, they are just kind of remaining in their spawn area. That cooler might help them push up a little bit. And Ren, or that's not Ren, that's 49er, has that Zipcaster at the ready. Does get a pick off of it. Does get not quite another pick off of it. But there's still, we're kind of regaining their spawn at least.
Yeah, but you know, you can regain your spawn all they want. They do need to eventually get on the board. Now, seeing a power clan go down with the last 40 seconds on the map, but not what you want to see if you're a New England fan in the audience right now. I feel like, again, all these specials coming out, but without 49er alive, I don't know how much value they're going to get from it because now they have no specials. They still don't exactly know what the team is, and they're going to have to go into a trap coming out from the orange team. I feel like that was almost all not there, unfortunately.
Yeah, and if we do end up going into Clanblitz overtime, which it looks like it's kind of inevitable at this point, unless, I mean, BLB looks like they're almost ready to get a push going, almost, with the amount of claims that they have and the amount of control that they have. But Clanblitz overtime is one of the most punishing times in the game. You have 20 seconds to get in and get something going, or you're done, and there's no way you can extend that time, which is just so punishing. You see so much desperation. We now, 20 seconds on the clock, and we can see if they can get something going. That Zoo could come out. If they get in a few good pucks here, we could see something going. But they are just kind of hanging back, just hoping for control. They aren't playing desperate. They're playing for time. Time is unfortunately short. They almost get it in, but that's kind of devastating. I don't think we're going to see another chance for it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that the last 30 seconds was really just kind of like a summation of the last game. You know, they really needed to move in, but they just weren't allowed to. And honestly, when I saw the pencil behind their basket and the Zuka wasn't going over there, I was like, I don't know how they're going to get in, possibly. So, and it's just so disheartening when you need to push overtime and then you see, you know, the UI at the top tell you one of your teammates goes down. It's just not how you want to start there. So kind of unfortunate for Z-tier players on that. I just feel like they were really never able to get in the same way that No Boys Allowed was. So unfortunately, they do lose that crucial game 3 on that one. But hey, this is the best of 5, so they still have 2 more games. We're going to see the replay on that. Shout outs to production, bro.
I love me some good production. I believe, yeah, this is about that first really good push here where they just got down to 35 in one push. And did they push again? I don't think they did, right?
They kind of opened after that, but that was the first like major one. And they didn't really have to because like the other team wasn't able to get in. You saw this is where 49 was able to get that pick on the crab and also the pencil with even just 1 down. But even after that, this is right when it just cut away. But Neptune went down there. And they weren't able to get it. And this was the unfortunate overtime push. 49 went down, which is really, really unfortunate. And then Ren finally knew that they had to go to the basket, and then it was pretty much just lights out after that. I feel like the team really struggles to get in on choke point maps when 49er's down. I feel like everyone in their comp is set up just to get 49er in. So when 49er's dead, when they're trying to push with like specials, they have really good map control. I feel like it's really, really hard for them to get in, especially versus a team as good as No Boys Allowed.
Eesh. Yeah, no. Like 49er is a great player, and we've seen just how strong their abilities are there. But on the other hand, putting all of your bets on one player really isn't too good of an idea. You do need some alternative win conditions. You can't just have one player getting in be your win condition. So we'll see if Tower Control Sturgeon Shipyard kind of remedies some of their problems. It is a little bit more fast-paced, it is a little bit more blitzy than Clan Blitz, ironically, but I mean, who knows?
This is another pick for me on the map because like
it's
man, I feel like this is like Hammerhead where it's just like whoever like really gets their first push going, unless there's like some act of God, is just gonna knock out after that. Like it's just so hard for teams to mount a defense. But hey, you know, we're at the LAN Championships. If anyone can do it in North America, it is these 8 people in the lobby right now. Gonna see if we can try to get into it. And again, you're seeing the side of Z-tier players just very patiently paying for that cooler, and more of the blue teams just trying to get in the mid right there.
Yeah, player for player, but although New Inkland team, Z-tier players, does go 2 down immediately, though we're seeing it kind of be even. I mean, Storm's just putting in the work, getting all of these picks here. They are back on that S-Blast, so I don't know, and Cleffa over here in the back just kind of putting the work, getting really, really up and forward up there.
We're the wise decision from Cleffa. I see a lot of high-level players do this where they're like, I can't get a pick here. I'm just going to go somewhere else, bro. Like, I'm not going to go down with special right now. And I think that's really working out for them as you see lots of members from Z-tier players going down and the crab coming out from their snipe here. Really great stuff. I'm glad they didn't go down there. And this is going to be tough. This is not where you want to be if you are Z-tier players, man. You're down a game. This is the match point for the other team, and you're trying to have them stop. The other team's cooled up. Gonna see what they can do in this hopefully not last 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, the hold there from No Boys Allowed was impressive. That first checkpoint went down without a fight. They're already at 21 points, and we are just a little bit over a minute into this match here. Once again, Clan Blitz can go super, super fast. You know, so, I mean, you still see Helix here holding, just kind of holding out for hope, but they do finally go down. That is going to be them considered that push over, but we'll see if Z-tier player is going to be able to get mid and get that tower a little bit further, and hopefully we don't see what we've seen before with them where they might not even, you know, get the points on the map until later on.
You know, it's always nice to see somebody mess up a jump on stream, especially when they're as good as Ren is. Like, I love Ren to death, but, like, it shows, you know, they are human. They do mess up jumps, and that's a hard jump to make, so I can attest to that. But
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, you saw a lot of members from No Boys Allowed trying to get set up here to stop this push. I do think Z-tier players played that correctly, and now they're going to be able to extend their push. Storm is in just a terrible spot right now, trying to see if they can live or try to find a pick there, although they are taking a lot of fire away from the tower, and that is going to be the first checkpoint, which I think the team fight win after that. Cleffa coming up behind. Storm sees them. They're ready. They have another teammate jumping, and they're on it. And right now, that is going to be Cleffa going down the back row, and with Neptune on this crab ready for this push.
I mean, I feel like that has to be a pretty rough matchup. I don't play dualies or blaster, but I feel like if you're fighting against dualies as a blaster player, unless you're really good at predicting where they're going to go, that's just a super hard 1v1 to win. But we do see 0-2 players getting pretty far up. They're already almost at that second checkpoint, and they are, I mean, they're doing a pretty good job of holding them off. They are 2 down now, as I do say that, but they can probably hold mid off of this. They do have their backline up and some jumps going in. Storm is there getting all the picks that they need, so we'll see if they're going to be able to kind of continue their hold on mid, or if they're going to, you know, if No Boys Allowed is going to come back swinging.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, it was unfortunate they did go 2 down after there, but the one thing that I think these tier players are doing really well is they're not actually letting them push them all the way back to mid where they have to get their I feel like for the past like 30, 45 seconds, it's just been them trying to get formed off of this giant, bro, and they've been failing. And look at that. We're already back at the last checkpoint. Almost like nothing happened there. So the great job to the Z-tier players for defending this push. They do need to play a little bit more patiently to try to win this fight so they can actually get past the checkpoint. 49 are going to find a pick, but unfortunately, no one is able to capitalize off of that. But still, no boys allowed is still not really in mid yet in a position to go forward. I feel like, I know it looks like they're losing, but I still feel like they're playing pretty well.
Yeah, they didn't. They had kind of a rough time at Clan Blitz, but you can see they still do have that dog in them to really compete with No Boys Allowed. And here with all their specials up, they are, I mean, rearing up 4 up. Another really good push here. Cooler on the tower, getting those buffs and also kind of blocking some shots, which is nice. Crab out, Booyah Bomb out. 28 points and ticking, and they are still getting the pick. Storm up here, pushing out, and that is a wipeout, and that is lead.
That's pretty much going to be signed, sealed, delivered. I don't think they're going to come back from that. Yeah. Like I said, man, like I know it looked dire for the Z-tier player team, but they were able to hold them off. Now, some people could say that yes, the pencil team won on 2 of the really good pencil maps, but also they still won the maps pretty convincingly, I feel like.
Many people are saying this. Yeah, no, that's, I mean, they still were in the back, like they still had, you know, some competition there. At the beginning, it really didn't look good for them. I know somebody in chat said fire alarm nerf was taking place, which, geez, what a rough start to a set. But now they're back swinging. We are at a game 5, which I cannot say enough how exciting that is. Some good competition, even this early in the tournament, is what you're seeing here. So I think we're gonna have an amazing game 5. I'm super, super excited to see who takes the fight. Because if it's anything like that game or the other game in the set, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, man, I just feel like Z-tier players was really able to hold it down when it mattered, which is the end of the match, which I feel like No Boys Allowed were just not able to do. And honestly, man, keeping their head up doesn't say, I don't care about the fire alarm, whatever, man. We are going to come back and we're going to win this match. I hope so. I don't even know. I can't see exactly what the last map is, but we're going to hope it's something pen favored if you're a New England fan. And if you're not a New England fan, you're going to hope there's something that favors Brush. So, sorry, not Brush, the other team. But yeah, man, I'm curious to see where we're going for game 5, honestly.
Yeah, it's something that I probably should remember, but I don't. Oh, this is a good one.
So Hagglefish Zones, I feel like very neutral map. It doesn't super favor, I feel like, one comp or the other. But I really like that some of the more crucial games, both in this series and in Ludi, which is happening right now, are usually on zones matches. So I always feel like zones is kind of like the tell-all for a team, and just everybody knows how to play it. So let's get into this game 5 on Haggle Zones.
It is notable that the first time we saw Haggle Zones, No Boys Allowed won pretty convincingly, but that was on, once again, Splat Zone's Hammerhead. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. So, we're already out here. Once again, we really see these backline players just going ahead and painting for that first cooler out here. It is notable, Ren is back on that pencil, it seems. But we see an early Neptune Crab out there kind of getting the position up for Z-tier players to get that first push going.
Yeah, Neptune, I just scrimmed against them. They're like a crazy, crazy aggressive splash player, and I feel like that was really instrumental for them to continue, not even the first fight, but also the second fight. And again, man, you see it immediately, they're getting, I need to get my next special for when they push, because you already see 3 specials on the side of No Boys Allowed, and they're pushing in here. The Booyah Bomb coming out, also going to see the Crab come out. Will they find a pick? They will not find a pick on the Hammer. It's going to be all kind of bets on the Crab. There are 2 members from Z-tier players going down there. It's going to be the zone flip for NBA over there.
Yeah, we are already looking way more competitive in that first zones. It seems like it's a little bit of a better matchup here, better map mode for Z-tier players. But that being said, they are currently kind of in a tough spot right now. They're pushed all the way back. Beyond Bay is taking a lot of space right now. Clef is already up, just trying to get picks in there, up on their plat. Does get taken out, but not enough for them to probably get the lead here. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, or no, that wasn't actually the lead. They took it right in time.
Yes, that's going to be the 1-point meme, unfortunately, for NBA there. Although they do find 2 picks here, they do need to flip the zone and then try to hold there. Really great stuff from, again, 49er getting that kind of like 180 pick on the brush and also getting the 2 Zipcaster picks. Even going through the ground level geometry, always love when that happens. Clef are going to pop this Crab on the left side, going to force them into their other teammates there on the right. Hopefully some people on the side of No Boys Allowed able to capitalize on that. Cooler coming out for NBA again, and you see some of the members just kind of waiting to see what the people on Z tier players are going to do here.
Yeah, no, it looks like they kind of have to back up here or be at the threat of 49ers Zipcaster there, which is just honestly my favorite part of this set. I really enjoy watching those. But we are going to see, yeah, they're on the up and up again. They are ready to kind of take some space. I mean, Storm there, that blaster under that ledge is so annoying. So annoying. And we are going to see them start to take points again. Their penalty is up as they just continue to hold really strongly.
Yeah, man, you're seeing one of the hammers coming out, Cleffa trying to do their best to try to put pressure on the backside of the zone. One player going down for the other team. Both hammers coming out at Neptune, not going to find their pick. And this is disastrous for the side of NBA because they did not get the zone pick. Cleffa is kind of up here by themselves, kind of need to clutch it out. They do find the pick onto Neptune, but it is pretty much just Helix alive to try to paint the zone with 49er coming into camp, both of these jumps. I don't know if NBA is going to be able to come back from this.
They're gonna throw everything that they have at it, and it looks like no, not quite. We did see a bunch of players explode there, but that is going to be Game 3, going to Z-tier players representing New England, moving on in a winner's bracket in a super close set with a super close last game.
Yeah, man, I feel like a lot of people, probably myself included, really thought this was going to be a really dominant set from No Boys Allowed. I think that's a really strong team, but unfortunately, bro, they do need to get past the first round, but they were not able to. And you're going to see on this replay here, this is kind of like just that beginning fight there, where you see 49er just kind of messing around, going to find one pick onto there, going to move up here, just try to stall there. Why is he going to jump back with their Zipcaster saying, I'm not going to die there? And I wonder if, yep, and here is, I think, where 49er did a lot of work trying to get this zone there. They did find 3 picks from this, believe it or not. And I believe that's one of the things that we're able to get from the lead, at least in the beginning part of this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they super good game. Just at the beginning of this. As we're continuing to watch this replays, we're gonna watch right again at the end. There's so much going on here. I couldn't even process it in the moment, but like every player going down, but Z tier players barely coming out on top there at the end to continue that hold and once again make it their winner's bracket. But I say winner's bracket because even though this is an 8-team tournament, super small, it is double elimination. So for all the No Boys Allowed fans out there, for all of our California folks probably rooting for them, they're still in the running. They're still probably going to make their way through losers bracket. Hopefully they are a super strong team. So this is probably not the end from them. So super exciting. I can't remember. So we're going to see them go on. If you're wanting to follow Z-tier players, they are going to be moving on to one of the different streams here. And they're going to be going on to face My Little Henlo. That's a pretty rough one.
Yes, so that is the #1 seed. Won pretty handily over my good friend Allie over on Octopods from Chai Shoals. But I feel like that's going to be a much tougher opponent. But hey, man, we got 1 upset. Why not go for 2 if I'm a Z-tier player right now? And then I think we're actually going to be hopping over to winner's semis there for Prickly Pear versus Glub, another East Coast, West Coast battle. But yeah, so it should be pretty exciting there. I don't exactly know where I think on SplatoonTourney 2 is where you can catch if you want to keep watching Z-tier players. I believe they're on that one. Someone in production is going to have to double check me, but I'm pretty sure. It's hard. There's 5 streams happening right now.
It's too much to keep track of. My simple brain cannot handle all of this. It's roasting my brain. But yeah, that was a super good first set. It's great. Super excited.
Yeah, man, that's crazy because that was only the first one. We are probably a little bit behind the other streams now because of that 15-minute break, but it doesn't matter. I'm sure we're gonna try to get over there as soon as we possibly can. But yeah, man, I feel like there's just so much action. I would honestly, if you can do the Twitch multi-stream thing, that's probably be a good way to keep track of anything. Or you can just do what a lot of people are doing right now, which is just watch partying in your home LAN server to try to root on your team representative. So a lot of cool opportunities to watch today.
For sure. But that being said, even though we are a little bit behind, we still are going to go to a short break. So me and my friend OBT will see you then.